Hello all, welcome back to my channel Ethical Cruise. Today in this video I will be talking about file upload vulnerability. This is the second part of the series file upload vulnerability. In the previous video I already discussed about what upload vulnerability is, what is the impact of file upload vulnerability, how we can basically try to exploit unsecured web server by overriding an existing file, or also how we can upload a web shell or a reverse shell onto the web server to get the remote code execution. Okay, so these all things we discussed already in the last video. I'll provide a link of that video in the description below. So today this will be the second part. Okay, let's start. So I'll talk about like how we can exploit the flaws which is present in a file upload security filtering. Okay, so what any server which is maintaining any file upload vulnerability, file upload functionality, they employ some security filtering to help out the upload function, file upload function. Okay, but all the security measures employed by the particular functionality are not up to the mark, and due to which even after applying the security measures, some file upload vulnerabilities still exist in those particular areas. Okay, so what we will try to exploit those only in this particular video. Okay, coming to first of all to understand like the filtering which we are talking about. So what's this filtering and where does it actually apply? Okay, so when we upload any file, by a file I mean any image file, any document file, so the function upload functionality, so functionality is basically filtered by two types of filtering, either the client side filtering or a server side filtering. And this filtering is just a security measure that depends where it is getting applied. Okay, if we talk about the client side filtering, so the client side filtering means filtering which occurs even before files get uploaded to server. So you must be aware that whenever any browser interact with the server, so how does the communication take place? Browser basically calls the website, and by website means I mean the server basically. So browser communicate through communicate to server through internet. Okay, so whatever things getting displayed on the browser, there must be something language. Generally we use JavaScript and all. So these basic languages are getting used when we try to perform a client side filtering. So those JavaScript codes, or if some other language we are using, then they will filter out the contents while displaying to browser. Okay, so this filtering happens at a client side, that's we call it as a browser side. Okay, and since this happens at a client side, these checks whatever we are doing, since this happen at the browser side and browser located at the client, the user end, that's why it's called client side filtering. And since we have not uploaded file yet, these checks are happening locally on the browser side. That's why they are just these checks happen before file getting uploaded to server. Okay, and since this is happen as a client side, that's why these are easier to bypass. Okay, because whatever filtering getting applied at the browser level, we can try to break it through intercepting the request which is getting sent to server, and then can manipulate that. Okay, so that's why clients bypassing client side filtering is a very easy task in comparison to server side filtering. Okay, so what happens in server side filtering, all the filtering, all the security measures applies at the server side. Okay, at the server end. And since all the filtering is applied at the server end and we do not have any idea about the code, how it is implemented, that's why it is more difficult to bypass them as compared to client side. Okay, and as per the filtering presented to the server side, we have to upload the payload, we have to modify our payload to bypass the server side filtering and then execute the remote code execution. Sometimes one payload might work in some situation, but the same payload might not work in another situation, in another case, because this server side filtering is more like a blind side, because we do not have any code in front of us. Okay, that's why it take a little more task to perform to bypass any server side filtering. Okay. Next we will see some client side filtering which are present and which we can bypass it. Okay, first of all I'll talk about like client side extension validation. So whenever we try to upload a file, okay, client side, first of all the browser checks whether the file extension is present or not, the file extension which is present is correct or not. Let's suppose we are trying to upload a profile picture. Okay, and a document which can be accepted as a profile picture is your image file, and the image file we generally know are having the extensions like gpg, png, or sometimes even the gif can be used. Okay, so these are like the some common used extension for the image files. But let's suppose if we're trying to upload a PDF file. Okay, so client side will basically block that because that extension PDF is not lying under the image file extension. Okay, so this is just like a minor check which can happen at the client side at the browser level to check for the file extension. Okay, but since whatever file getting uploaded, it will go to server through network, and we know it is very easy to intercept and basically change the parameters by using Burp Suite interceptor. Okay, so in this particular exploitation, I will be using the Burp Suite interceptor. I will be using Burp Suite Proxy, where I will intercept the traffic between the browser and the server, and then we'll try to modify it before sending it to server directly. Okay. Also, one thing to mention here is there are two type of extension filters which are generally in place. First one is your blacklist extension, and second one is your whitelist extensions. Okay, so the blacklist extension means it contains a list of extensions which are not allowed. Let's suppose we are again taking an example of image file. So we know image file having this jpg, png, all type of these extensions, but we can blacklist different extensions like php, like pdf, and all different kind of extensions which we know are not needed and are not correct. Okay, so all those extensions which are mentioned as a part of a blacklist extension, they will not be allowed to run on the server. They will not be allowed to upload. Okay, the reverse of this is the whitelist extension. In this, we will only whitelist some of the server extensions which we want to allow. Rest all will be act as like a blacklist. Okay, so in the case of image file, if we take an example of jpg, png, so let's suppose if I'm whitelisting only these two extensions, jpg and png, so all other file formats, irrespective of whatever format you are using, those will get blocked and you will not be able to upload file with any other extension. Okay, generally whitelist extension is preferred over blacklist extensions because you will not have the full list, because you can modify any extension. Like if I take an example of php, you can change it to any other php, php1, php2, any other thing you can change it. Okay, but in the case of whitelist, since you know only these limited set of extensions are allowed, that's why if those files which you are uploading lies under those whitelisted extensions, then only it will be allowed. Otherwise, if you try to do any modification, that will be discarded upfront. Okay, so let's see how we can basically modify a client side how we can modify a extension of a file which we are uploading, and then how we can use it. Okay, so I'm at this website, so I'll try to exploit the vulnerability. So I'm logged into this account. What I'll do, I'll try to go to this my account to see if we can upload an image there. Okay, so I'll have to log into this first. Let me log in. Okay, now I can see under this my account section, there is an option to upload an image. Okay, so before exploiting anything, let's first try to upload a proper image so that we can check if our upload functionality is working or not. Okay, so I'll just click on browse. Okay, so I have one profile picture that is called, so I have one profile pic that is in JPG format. So I will try to upload it. Okay, now I can see profile pic.jpg is working. So I'll just click on upload. And I can see the file avatar slash profile pic.jpg has been uploaded. I'll go back to my account. And I can see this profile picture is loaded here. Okay, now next what I'll do, let's just try to open it into a different tab, open image in a new tab. And we can see in this profile picture is getting uploaded to this particular server under this location, this files directory. uh, Under this file directory, there is an avatar directory. Under this, there is a picture that is profile pic.jpg, which we have uploaded. Okay, so now next what I can try to do, I'll try to upload a PHP file, because this basically is done all on PHP. So I'll try to upload my web shell, so to see if we can exploit this upload. We can exploit this upload vulnerability. Okay, so I'll just click on browse. I'm having this one PHP shell already present. I'll just open it here and try to upload it. Okay, once I'm trying to upload it, I can see this error message, sorry, file type application xphp is not allowed. Only image slash jpg and image slash png are allowed. Sorry, there was an error uploading your file. So we can see that this particular web server has some security measures in place, and they are not allowing us to upload any php file because the only allowed extensions are jpg and png. Okay, so they might have done some kind of whitelisting, I'm guessing. Okay, so let's try to do one thing. Let's try to do some modification. What I'll do next, I'll try to basically convert my php file to png format. Okay, and then I'll see if I'm able to upload it to server or not. Okay, so I'll go to terminal. Okay, here I can see my web shell is present. So what I'll do, I'll change this extension from php to png. Okay, so I'll just make a copy of this particular file and we'll change this extension to png. If I'll check what's the type of this file, I'll just use this command file web shell dot png. Okay, and I can see it is still showing me as a php file, but what we have done, we have just changed the extension from png, from php to png. Okay, so now I'll try to upload this particular file. I'll go back to this browser. I click on browse, and now you can see webshell.png. Okay, I'll click on open and click on upload. Okay, this time I can see my file avatar slash webshell.png has been uploaded. Okay, but since we have changed the extension of this particular file, we are able to upload it, but we will not be able to execute it because the extension of file has been changed from php to png. Okay, so if I have to make it executable file, so what I'll have to do, I'll have to somehow bypass this filtering which is happening here. Okay, what kind of filtering it is happening? It is not allowing me to upload a php file. It is allowing me only to upload either jpg or png image. Okay, so let's do one thing. I'll intercept the request, and then I'll try to see if I can basically modify the request which we are sending to server. So again, so I'll go to this browse. I'll copy this webshell.png file. Okay, now before sending this request to server, what I'll do, I'll intercept it. So for interception, I'm using this Burp Suite tool. Okay, so this is a Burp Suite tool. Here we can do basically the request interception. So Burp Suite is a proxy tool which will sit between your browser and the server. And to make a connection between is, I'm using the proxy settings. Okay, for this I'm using this Foxy proxy, which is I have already installed in the browser. Okay, and making a connection between this client browser and this Burp Suite. Okay, if you want to know more details like how Burp Suite is working and how we can basically do a proxy scanning and various other things which are provided by Burp Suite, do let me know in the comments. I'll provide a separate video for that, and you will be able to learn and work through Burp Suite. Okay, so for now I have just done on this Burp Suite and have make a proxy connection with it. Now I'll try it. Before that, I'll also go to this proxy and we'll just click on this intercept is on. Okay, so what it will do, it will now intercept all the request which is coming to Burp Suite in an active mode. Okay, now I'll just click on upload, and I can see here this request. This is the request which was triggered from browser, from this Firefox browser, and was going to server. And through this Burp Suite proxy, we have just intercepted the request in between. Okay, so here we can see like this is the name, and this is a file name which we were sending. Okay, and the content type is image png because it has derived the content type from this particular file name extension. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll try to change the extension from png to php here. Okay, and just send it. Before sending it, I'll just intercept the response, whatever response I will receive from server. I'll just intercepting it. I'm just clicking on this, it response to this request, and just clicking on forward. And I can see this is the basically response which I received from server. This is response server. This is my particular port. This is my file. This is my HTTP 200 response which I received from the server. And this is the text which I received. The file avatar webshell.php has been uploaded. So from the browser, if you remember, we selected PNG file, but in the meantime, we changed the extension from PNG to PHP and then uploaded that .php extension, and that has been basically uploaded by server. Okay, and in the response, I can see that has been uploaded. So I'll forward this request, and we can see on the server that the file avatar webshell.php has been uploaded. Now I'll just turn off this interception, go to this my account, and now when I click on this particular file, I'll open in a new tab, and I can see my web shell has been executed. Okay, and this is basically a secret which I was required, okay, to execute this particular web shell. Okay, so we have seen like we can easily modify the extension by using any interceptor tool before sending the request to server. Next type of client side filtering is your content type restriction. Okay, so content types are basically used to identify the file type. So as we saw in the last demo, like whatever the file we were uploading, content type was getting derived on the basis of that file name. Okay, and it is generally used when we are sending any attachment over email or through network. Okay, and content type filtering is basically applied at both side, both client side as well as server side. Okay, and since it is applied at client side as well, and we know that client side filtering can be easily bypassed using interceptor. So what I'll do, I'll show you how we can easily bypass this client side filtering, this content type restriction which we have at the client side. Okay, let's go back. So now what I'll do, I'll try to upload the same webshell.php file which I was trying to upload earlier, but this time rather than changing the file extension from PHP to PNG or PNG to PHP, what we were doing earlier, I'll try to change the content type of the file. Okay, so now let's browse the PHP file, click on open. Okay, and I'll just check whether I have a connection between my Burp Suite and this client. Okay, it is here, and here I'll turn on the interception. Okay, so now Burp Suite will intercept the request what we will send from browser. Now here I'll just click on upload, and here I can see now the content type is application slash xphp because it has derived the content type on the basis of your file name extension. But since we know from the previous trial and error, like this content type php is not acceptable by this particular server, so what I'll do, I'll change this content type from application php to acceptable image type. Okay, okay, now I have changed this particular content type to image slash jpeg. I'll just intercept the response before sending this request to server, and just click on forward, and I can see my file has been uploaded. File avatars webshell.php has been uploaded. I'll forward this request again to web browser. I'll just turn off this interception now. I'll go back to browser. Okay, and I can see the same message. My web file has been PHP file has been uploaded. Okay, I'll go back to this my account page. I can see this particular image that is not actually loading because it is not actually your image file. Okay, so I'll try to open it in a new tab, open image in a new tab, and I'll see the secret which I needed has been loaded. Okay, because my PHP shell has been executed on the web server. Okay, so in this manner we can bypass the content type client side filtering also. Okay, so that is all in this particular video. In the next video I'll talk about bypassing the server side restriction, and also I'll talk about how we can mitigate this file upload vulnerability. Okay, please do like the video, share this video with your friends and colleagues, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel Ethical Cruise. Also, you can visit my blogging website ethicalcruise.com, where you can read about security basics for printing reconnaissance and about cloud computing as well. Okay, so I'll see you all in the next video to continue with this file upload vulnerability series. Thank you.